I want to talk about this defense. This is a defense that you absolutely want to buy stock in right now, and the season is basically now in the hands of this defense. That's it. Boys, it's on you. It is on you. The defense right now is number 1 in the NFL going against the pass through 3 games, number 4 against the run. They're allowing 227 yards per game. That is second best only to Buffalo. The defense is allowing 12 points per game over its first 3 weeks. That is third best in the NFL. Only Tampa Bay and Denver have done better in that department. And yet they have 2 losses in 3 of those games. I mean, you're not supposed to lose when you're playing defense like that. And there is absolutely no doubt that all of the frustration that the 49ers have given us this year have been on Kyle's side of the ball, been on Jimmy's side of the ball. The offense is the only thing that you could even say is letting this team down. Special teams kind of figured it out as well. Tim Kawakami wrote today that the 49ers have also outgained their opponents in all 3 games. In their 2 losses, they've committed 5 turnovers and have only 1 takeaway. So as we sit around talking about what Jimmy needs to do, what Kyle needs to do, what this offense needs to do, what they really need to do more than anything else, as I was saying earlier, just be a touch below average. Don't suck. Anything from below average and above is good enough to get the Niners into the win column. Just don't suck. Don't be turning the ball over. Don't be sloppy with the ball. Don't be taking 3 and outs and making sure that your defense is getting overtaxed. That's all they need to do.
All they have to do is hold serve.
Ray, they're going to the playoffs. It's been a terrible start to the year. They're going to go to the playoffs.
I have not been convinced of that. Again, I picked them to miss before the season started.
No, you didn't. You had them in as the last team in.
Did I?
Yes.
Okay, then I guess I did pick them. I don't remember. That's how much I value my own.
You care that much.
Yeah. No, but I thought they'd be 9-8 at best. And I don't see a whole lot changing that because this is the formula they've created, whether they meant to or not. Because, I mean, a lot of people literally believe that Kyle Shanahan, is an offensive genius. And in fact, either he is and he's picked the wrong players or he's not and people were wrong. Either way, the offense has been okay at best, slightly below average at worst, or injury-riddled or talentless, which the first 2 years were. And that's why I throw those out when I'm trying to evaluate what Kyle Shanahan is. Because the easiest thing in sports for a general manager is to take a bad team and raise it to the middle of the pack. The hardest thing is to get out of the middle of the pack and make it elite. And Kyle Shanahan has done the first pretty easily, pretty quickly. The second, he's been okay at.
He's flirted.
Well, I mean, he's got defensive players who can do things. Offensively, he turned Raheem Mostert into something. He turned Deebo Samuel into something. They did find George Kittle. I mean, he's not been a failure as a general manager, but the thing that people want to hang on him is, well, he's an offensive genius. And I'm not sure that's true. I'm sure what I think is he understands offensive efficiency, but he doesn't always get it based on the talent he's got, and not just at the quarterback spot. I think the offensive line has been an ongoing problem, and I don't think that they've finally established themselves as a team with passing weapons. I mean, Deebo Samuel is an okay receiver. He made his name as a running back last year. Brandon Ayuk has not yet emerged, if he's going to emerge. And George Kittle gets double teamed on every play, so it's hard to get him the ball. So they don't have a dynamic passing attack, and I don't know that they ever have.
And the truth is, you don't need a dynamic passing attack when you got a defense like this. You just don't. You have to possess the ball, you got to move the chains, and you need to score 3 touchdowns. Asking an NFL team to score 3 touchdowns every 4 quarters that you play is not a huge ask. And they don't even need all 21 points. I mean, right now they're giving up 12 points per game. I mean, 2 touchdowns is all you need to top out 12 points per game. I know I'm no math major. We were joined by one last week, and Kyle Juszczyk. I'm sure he would agree. 14 is greater than 12. That's all the 49ers need. They need the bare minimum of offense to be a playoff team with a defense like this. I was talking to Kyle Madsen before the show started today. 49ers defense is allowing 3.9 yards per play so far. 3.9 yards per play. Now, who they've played so far has something to do with that. How they've played so far has something to do with that. The conditions under which the first game was played in so far have something to do with that. But we can't select the stats we want to pay attention to. Those are NFL teams. The stat is who's given up the fewest amount of points or fewest amount of yards per play, in this example, in the NFL. It's the 49ers. And if they come in and finish this year giving up 3.9 yards per play, all they are is the single greatest yards per play defense in the history of football. That's it. That's better than the 85 Bears. That's better than the Ravens when they won it all. I mean, that is a historic level of nasty defense. And through 3 weeks, that's what Kyle's got to play with. And when you can build on that, you have a foundation. There's a lot of uncertainty in this offense. There's always a lot of wishing for more. You can't wish for any more from a defense than what this team has given you so far. Even in that Denver game. And I think that's what made it so ultimately frustrating and drove everybody nuts come Monday morning. You just look at an opportunity wasted. 8 separate 3-and-outs? I mean, you can't ask for more than that. You just can't. So there is a little, sin that has been committed by this offense to have themselves in a situation where they are starting slowly out of the gates. But that was probably going to happen no matter who was here. A not ready to quite go Jimmy Garoppolo or a might not even be ready for QB1 status Trey Lance. This show's mistake, I don't want to blame you, Ray, maybe my mistake, was expecting not too much too early, but expecting the wheels to all be spinning as the car was getting pulled out of the garage. Slow starts, kind of what Shanahan has done in the past. Slow starts, like I don't remember Jimmy having a gangbusters start of the year like really ever. He always sort of found his own level as the year went on. I guess as everyone sits around and wants to declare what we've seen so far a disaster zone, my point is we should have seen it coming a little bit more. We should have seen it coming. We should have better prepared you, the listener, you, the fan, and us as hosts for the slower start that we're seeing. I still got the 49ers going to the playoffs. I still think that they're going to win 9-10 games. And with this defense, they absolutely can do that.